we go. Here we go. Nice. I don't know who went first last week. Why don't you go first this week, Mike?
Okay. Well, can I ask you real quick? You didn't see the text that I sent you before we started everything. Okay. So this is get it or forget it. What are the? Because there's a hard pass is the only one I remember. And once
Must have.
Okay. What's the? Yeah, read them off to me.
Must have is
Okay.
the best.
Okay.
And get it.
Okay.
And then no opinion either way. And then forget it.
Okay.
And then hard pass.
Okay. I'm going to type these onto my review sheet. Because every week I'm going, I don't know what this falls under. So, did I go? Okay. I wasn't ready to go.
Okay, Patrick, you ready?
If Patrick's ready, he can go. Hey, he's
Patrick.
not ready either. But now I'm ready.
Okay. You go, Mike.
Okay. Okay. I read 2 books, and I'm upset that Rogues issue number 2 wasn't one of the 2 books. I really wanted to read that one for this weekend, so I'll read that one for next weekend. We'll start off with this one first. West of Sundown number 1. And this is written by Tim Seeley and Aaron Campbell, and the artwork is by Jim Terry. I love the cover.
Wow, I hate that cover.
I like it because it's kind of, and even the following issues, it's kind of like a 1970s movie poster.
That's true.
Layout.
Yeah, that makes me like it a little better. But
Yeah.
It's got that beat up look you like too, Kevin.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, so basically we've got a Civil War soldier ends up saving a vampire during the Civil War, and it jumps to the future. They're in New York, and she's being hunted by some, I guess, vampire hunters. They destroy her life there, so they move out west to New Mexico. And basically what she does is she feeds on the corrupt, and the Civil War soldier that found her and saved her pretty much just gets food for her. It's, what's something here? I would say I have no opinion on whether you get it or not. I'm not a real big fan of Tim Seeley's writing. I struggled reading what was that other book he did? Having all kinds of brain farts here. He did another horror book years ago. Anyway.
Hack and slash.
No. Jenny Frison did all the covers for it.
So basically, this, in my opinion, you would give this you don't feel one way or the other, which is in essence a 3-star. That's why I kind of have that chart. It's like a 5-star review.
Yeah.
But, 5-star is must have, 1-star is hard pass. So you give it a 3. You don't really feel one way or the other about it, right?
Yeah, I don't. And then even the solicitations for issue 2 and beyond, they just disappeared. So I don't know what is going on with the upcoming issues. So yeah, this one I would probably say it's I can't recommend it, but also I can't say that it's not worth getting.
Are you going to continue reading it?
I'm going to try issue number 2, and we'll see. I may stop after issue number 2.
Because is it kind of something you think the story would wash out if you read multiple issues, kind of thing?
Yeah. It's just
Okay.
kind of been there before.
Okay, gotcha.
My next book, Lead City number 2.
Nice.
And last week was Lead City number 1.
Uh-huh.
That's why I wanted to do this one. Eric Borden and Kyle Brummond. So in this one, everybody makes their way to Lead City, and Coleman, which is our main character, starts to have cold feet about being one of the 8 volunteers to be in the gunfight. And there's only two ways. He told there's only two ways to leave Lead City: in a body bag or victorious. And so there's one winner. They've got weapons stashed throughout the city, and the first, gunshot starts the whole thing, and you run around trying to get weapons and just be the last one.
Did you say what they win last year or last?
Yeah, I think it was a monetary prize. I think it was $1,000 or something. And this takes place in the 1800s. So, and in this issue, we get the first contestant being eliminated, and I think it would make a great TV show as well.
Yeah.
So this is a get it.
All right.
And there's only 2 more issues left. So issue number 3 is May 25th. Issue number 4 is June 22nd. So
I want to clarify on this. I kept comparing it to Quick and the Dead, but you corrected me. It's more of a battle royale type trick.
Yes.
Rather than Quick and the Dead was a, they set up times, everybody fought one-on-one.
Yeah.
But this is a battle royale. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. And this takes place in the city. Lead City's up here. The other city's down here where everybody lives down below. Lead City is basically a ghost town until the contest, when the 8 go up there to have gunfights and just be the last man standing.
Do you have a character you're rooting for yet?
I guess out of the gate would be Coleman, the main guy, because you kind of know why he's doing it.
Oh, they haven't given you a lot of backstory on anyone else yet.
But right, the other people, you don't get a lot of backstory yet.
Gotcha.
But there's definitely a couple that are you kind of like their personalities as they're fighting, but you just don't know much of their backstory. So hopefully, if they don't get it here, hopefully there's a sequel to it. Well, I don't know. They'll all be dead except for one.
Yeah. Well, there's a battle royale. The movie, that Japanese movie, Battle Royale.
Yes.
There's a Battle Royale too. So they just get a bunch of new characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hunger Games too. So yeah. They'll find a way.
Yeah. So I love it. Yeah, I can't wait to read the next 2.
Okay. Patrick, you want to go next or you want me to go?
I can go.
All right.
Okay, this book, I thought I ordered this book, and
There's no book on the screen. Oh, there it is.
I was trying to save the surprise. I wasn't getting it, and then I discovered that I missed ordering it somehow. It wasn't even on my like Kevin and I talked about. We sort of go through and put everything down, and we start whittling away.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually save that stuff that I whittle away in my spreadsheet for future reference if I want to pick it up. And so I don't know what happened here. But this is, did you hear what Eddie Gein done by Harold Schechter and Eric Powell? This is a original graphic novel, true crime graphic novel. Does anybody know who this person is? Eddie Gein.
Chainsaw Massacre guy. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Leatherface. Right.
Yep, sort of. That's
Loosely based on him.
Yeah. Well, it's the opposite, right? Leatherface is loosely based on Ed Gein, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I read a book in the 90s. About Ed Gein. Very disturbing. Okay, and I'm jealous that you have this. I missed ordering this.
Yeah, same boat. So also, they took elements of from him to Robert Bloch did write Psycho, and Alfred Hitchcock make the movie Psycho, and also sort of Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs all took elements from this person. So yeah, like I said, it's a true crime graphic novel. Beautiful artwork by Eric Powell. Sort of like some of it's just straight pencil, I believe, and some of it's just gray ink wash. I remember talking to Eric Powell at a convention one time, and I said I could just I could read a whole book just of your pencils. Nobody needs to ink this stuff.
Mhm.
It's
Wow.
so nice,
Yeah.
And I remember him telling me, I like to save it for the right moment. I think it gives more impact when I do it that way. So this is sort of along those lines, although I think there's a little bit more finished work here. But the artwork is I love it. I'm a big Eric Powell fan, though, I should say. So
Yeah.
if you don't know, he's the creator of The Goon. I think that's probably what he's most well known for.
I did not know that. Okay.
But it's probably a good thing it's in black and white because of the subject matter, because this really treads into some disturbing territory. And I should back things up too. Harold Schechter is a well-known true crime writer. He collaborated with Eric Powell. They both did the writing on this, and Eric did all the artwork himself. And it's sort of it's sort of a nature versus nurture. He goes over Ed Gein's life from birth till death. And you sort of see his upbringing. His was horrible, and it makes you, is this why he became what he became? It's one of those type of deals. I won't give it. Obviously we talked about some of the things that they based off this character, so I won't go into details about some of the subject matter, but it's definitely very good. I'd say it's a definite get it if you're more into true crime. I'd say it's a must have.
Okay.
But beware the subject matter, because can be brutal at times. Eric doesn't. There's not a lot of blood and gore per se, but there's a lot of graphic things, and it doesn't go for like the shock effect per se. As far as the artwork goes, it's more of like psychological, and then the actual things that this person did in real life were so disturbing that you don't need all the gore there, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you have, it was I did not want to put it down. I just wanted to rip through it because I was so invested in it. I on the other hand, unlike you two, I did not know, the name was unfamiliar with me until I started. I remember Eric doing the sort of the press and interviews for this book, and that's where the name meant nothing to me until that started happening. And then I like I said, I don't know why I didn't order it or why I missed ordering it, but I picked it up off the internet. Unfortunately, I was kind of bummed because it's a second printing.
Alrighty, wow.
But, yeah.
Do you mind sharing how much you paid?
It was only like $15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you look for a first printing after the fact? Because I could buy the second printing off you, because it sounds like I must have this for my wife.
Yeah, I did not look into that. That's a possibility.
Yeah, if you want to look for a first printing and it's something you want to pull the trigger on, I'll buy the second printing off you.
Okay,
for what you paid.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, but just beware. If you're a fan of true crime,
that's all.
I guess maybe if you're more into that, you're a little more prepared for the subject matter. But
yeah, exactly. She knows.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I think I read Helter Skelter when I was about 13, which is probably like 10 years earlier than I should have.
Yeah.
and that just sent me down the road to true crime, and that's where I ended up finding out about Ed Gein long ago and read a few books on him too. Is the interior artwork similar to the cover?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I kind of wish I would have put some. Yeah, I kind of wish I would have put some shots of the interior that were safe for viewing.
Right.
Because there's some really nice stuff in there. It sort of counteracts the horribleness that's going on in the book.
Yeah, well, that's Eric Powell's so good at. He can draw creepy and like horrifying stuff or horror themed stuff, but in a cartoony kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cartoony in an insulting way, but it's just the way he presents it. It's just fascinating. It's what you're not used to seeing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick that up.
Hey, that one's mine.
Okay.
Yeah, just to let you know, when I was managing a video store, that's the only reason I'm familiar with the name, is because they came out with a movie that was just titled Ed Gein I think it was from the 90s, late 90s, something like that. But that's the only way I'm familiar with it. So, Anyway, so I read something a little bit more mainstream.
Well, one of us has to.
That was on our list, in our top 3 covers. So
Yeah.
there's number 2.
That's
And
number 2.
I forgot to upload a picture of it, so I just figured I'd use our stock photo here.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But this is good. It's interesting. I don't know if you know how this is supposed to play out at all, but it kind of we're seeing. This is a story of seeing Obi-Wan while he's on. It's like a build up to the show. I'm sure it's while he's on Tatooine waiting, to save Luke, or to train Luke, all that, watching over Luke, however you want to. I hope they, that's something that I'm looking forward to with the show, how they kind of clarify exactly what he's supposed to be doing. I mean, they talk about, obviously, at the end of episode 3, he's supposed to be watching over him, but then it always seems to me like he's been resistant classically to training him. Like that wasn't the original plan, something like that. So anyway, so I like this story is kind of that, explaining while he's on Tatooine, it's what he's doing there. And in this first issue, he has a flashback, which I'm sure is kind of foreshadowing to what we're in store for, that when he's a youngling on Coruscant. So it starts with him current in Tatooine as an old man, and he has a flashback of when he was a youngling and he's on Coruscant to where he has this best friend, I guess, this kind of mentor, this female Jedi. She's not much older than him. She seems like she's a teenager. He's a preteen, and she has to go save her father because she's having dreams that are giving her premonitions that he's in danger, and Obi-Wan wants to go help her, and they have this brief adventure on Coruscant, and he actually doesn't end up leaving Coruscant, and that's kind of where the story ends. So I'm sure it's a foreshadowing. Her name's Garen, I think, and I'm sure we're in store for seeing her later, because then at the end of the book, it comes back to Obi-Wan thinking about her as an old man. He reminisces about how he doesn't know whatever happened to her, whether she ever saved her father and whatever ended up with her, because she wasn't supposed to leave, of course, and she left, so that's where it's at. And then I guess in the second issue, at the end of issue number 1, they kind of tell you that number 2 is going to be a story about him as a Padawan with Qui-Gon, which I think you highlighted that in the Be on the Lookout, where they're the cover for number 2 is Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan on the cover, right?
Yeah. So in the interiors, whenever they're showing at the beginning, you said it's an older Obi-Wan. Right. Is the artwork, does he resemble Sir Alec Guinness?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was wondering if because it seems like that's what they're doing, is resembles the actor. So that's cool. So then we should get the Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan in there as well.
Right.
Like covers and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm, I guess, I'm going to go must have for big Obi-Wan fans, but as far as just trying to pick up a comic, trying to follow a new story, I say get it, but nothing spectacular yet. I mean, it's cool. But if you're not an Obi-Wan fan, it's not anything amazing. So anyway, that's it. So it's just a regular old get it for me. Mm-hmm. So that'll do it. I didn't, Patrick keeps finding ways to cheat because he's reading a graphic novel. That's like 6 issues. No, just kidding. Did you, did you say you completely finished it? You said you wanted to. You had a hard time putting it down, so you completely finished it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Was his lightsaber drawn correctly in the interior?
We didn't get any lightsaber action because he was literally dealing with a sandstorm. He was like, when he was old Obi-Wan, all he did was talk about the sandstorm, and then when he was reminiscing in his mind, all they did was show them as younglings on Coruscant, so we never got any lightsaber action. So that has yet to be determined. I'll let
I
you know.
think Patrick, didn't you find a corrected copy of it though?
I think Tyler did.
Or Tyler did. That's right. Yeah.
Wait, what? Remind me.
Yeah. I think the final art for the cover does have the correct lightsaber on it.
Oh, okay.
But I think what I had used wasn't final art yet.
Okay, I didn't know he'd done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go back to that thread because it's kind of funny. There's other stuff.
Okay.
And
All right,
Psycho.
so that'll do it for the Get It or Forget It comic book reviews.
Yeah. Couple
guess
get
so.
it, couple forget it.